Hello, I'm Dr. Calvin Ross, and welcome to video number 2 of 3 on mammograms and breast cancer. We will turn our attention from the fact that X-ray radiation from regular annual mammogram screenings cause breast cancer to the fact of what is the underlying root cause of why one woman is more susceptible to get breast cancer than another. And furthermore, what is the intelligent, safe choice for annual breast cancer screenings. Here is all the known facts, characteristics, and scientific studies documenting radiation-induced breast cancer. First, a woman's breast is one of the most sensitive tissues to the carcinogenic damage of ionizing radiation, especially in young women. Second, it takes a minimum of 5 to 10 years after exposure to X-ray radiation for breast cancer to develop, and often many more years. In fact, the time between radiation exposure and breast cancer development is longer in young women and shorter in older women. Young children do not show a detectable elevation in breast cancer occurrence for some 35 to 40 years after X-ray exposure radiation-induced breast cancer appear to occur later in life during the same ages when breast cancer rates in general begin to increase. It appears that a single exposure of significant dose during early life can increase breast cancer risk even 50 years later. Third, the relationship between radiation dose and breast cancer risk can be described by a straight line, which implies that no matter how low the dose, there is some small risk associated with radiation exposure. If the total radiation dose is split into many doses, the risk of radiation-induced breast cancer is nearly the same as if the dose was given all at one time. Fourth, the age of exposure is one of the most important determinants of the future risk of developing breast cancer due to radiation later in life. Young girls are at highest risk, and women irradiated around menopausal ages are at low risk. When a young woman is exposed to radiation, she will have menopausal cycles for several decades that might enhance the development of any underlying damage to the sensitive cells of the breast caused by radiation. There is evidence to suggest that exposure to the immature breast during early development and around the age of beginning menstruation carries a higher risk than at other times of a woman's life. The fact is, 27 peer-reviewed scientific papers and technical reports have all identified radiation as a cause of breast cancer in women. The first such report appeared in 1969, and since then the evidence has mounted at the rate of one new study each year for 40 years. The evidence that X-ray radiation causes breast cancer from mammograms has been presented repeatedly in the Journal of the National Cancer Institute, in the New England Journal of Medicine, in Lancet, in the British Medical Journal, in the British Journal of Cancer, in the journal called Cancer, and in Radiation Research. Evidence has been gathered by studying breast cancer among women in many countries exposed to many different sources of radiation. Radiation is a known cause of breast cancer in women. It is not speculative or uncertain. It is widely accepted. The sad fact is X-ray radiation causing breast cancer is not widely discussed. That's why every woman deserves to see this documentary report on mammograms and breast cancer as soon as possible. It will save lives. Dr. Goffman calculated that at least 66% and perhaps as much as 75% of today's 182,000 new cases of breast cancer each year have been caused by past medical uses of X-ray radiation. A fluoroscope is an X-ray machine with the beam remaining on during examination. An X-ray is a snapshot. A fluoroscope is a motion picture, and it delivers much more radiation than an X-ray. Breast cancer information has been